All right, let's look at some bad fish tanks, the classic on this channel. Starting, of course, with went on vacation and asked my cousin and friend to take care of my tanks. That always goes well. Oh God, dead fish, algae all over, multiple dead fish. Are those dead fish? And what the hell is that? How did they introduce a new fungus into the tank? Damn, that is rough. Imagine fucking it up that bad. I left my dad when I was a kid alone with my fish tank for a week, and he covered the substrate in fish pellets because he was feeding like half of the pellet container every day, to the point where there was a larger layer of pellets than there was of gravel at the bottom of the fish tank. And all my fish survived. The ability to fuck it up this much is insane. They were hungry. Oh yeah, my bad. My fish must have been so hungry. People cannot be trusted with fish. Then why do you get trusted, Val? Boyfriend's brother has a snapping turtle in a bin. Run. If there's even a small chance that treating an animal like this runs in the family, run. That's crazy. That's probably just a wild snapping turtle too. You think they just found it on the side of the road and said, fuck it, bin. That's crazy. He ain't gonna grow very much. He might live though. I mean, snapping turtles are pretty resilient and they get stupid old. So that's kind of the sad part, is he might just straight up chill in this bin for like 50 years if everyone keeps feeding him. Poor fish. And it's a piranha in like a tiny, low, square tank at a bar. That piranha has seen some shit, I'm sure. I don't know. Fish tanks at restaurants never go well. Have you guys ever seen a good fish tank at a restaurant? I don't think I have. Like, I've seen like well-designed ones, but it's always too small for the amount of fish that they put in there, or they put some ridiculous ass piranha-looking fish in there. Question, would being in that condition as a snapping turtle make them more resilient if able to survive, or does that not happen in a lifespan? Theoretically, yeah. I mean, creatures do adjust and become more resilient throughout their lives if they have to face more difficult conditions. However, the main problem with sitting in a thing like that is spinal deformities, where like he's being fed, right? And the energy he gets from the food is intended to go towards growth because he's not at his maximum size. But his body also recognizes that he doesn't have the room to grow. And that tends to cause a conflict. This happens a lot in fish, that causes spinal deformities. And you get a lot of like inbred fish and fish in too small of tanks that get stunted and have spinal deformities that'll end their life quicker than it should. So while yes, maybe in this specific conditions, the turtle would grow more resilient, you know, like if you moved a different snapping turtle into a bin and this snapping turtle into a bin at the same time, he would probably have a better chance at survival. It's not gonna outweigh the losses. We're doing Lamarckian evolution? No. It's not evolution if it happens within a lifetime. Evolution is more long-standing, but there is adaptation. Creatures do adapt. They just don't like... If you guys don't know what Lamarckian evolution is, it was a theory on evolution that rather than like genetic traits being mutated and passed down generation to generation, that you could change something in your life and pass it down. So like if a creature, you know, stretched its neck a lot, then its babies would have longer necks. But that's not the case. Genetics are pretty determinate at birth. So no, this fish, if it gets resilient to a bin, will not pass down to its children to be resilient in a bin. That would be Lamarckian evolution, which has been disproved. What should I add? Two bettas, they don't fight each other. A dolphin fish. The fuck is a dolphin fish? A pleco and some others. I'm not sure what the fish on the bottom is called. Bruh just has mystery fish. Yeah, I'm sure the pleco will do well in that aquarium. Concept for a betta tank. Why is there more device than there is space for water? Normally these things are too small, but like at least they're a tank. This is more machine than it's a humidifier. Is that actually what it is? No, this is actually intended to be a fish tank. It's just a dehumidifier. Better concept art than most Tesla creations. Interesting theory. The jury's out on that one. Not even in the cups, but in bags. Bro, what is the point in having the cups? Why are the goldfish in tiny bags with what I assume is methylene blue? so that they don't just give themselves diseases, as if that's gonna do shit in preventing anything. Bro, if I put you in a room and just pumped medicine in the air. Fish medicine is so bad, man. Fish medicine is so bad. Pretty sure they're transported in the bags. And so they just decided not to put them in the cups at the store. Oh well. These aquariums at my school. Ah yes, a bottle with gravel. Ah yes, another bottle with gravel. Ah yes, a dead or about to die fish. I love fish keeping. How long can bettas stay in these bags or cups until they start showing negative effects? It depends what you mean by showing. I mean, right away, there is going to be stress on their body that is going to shorten lifespan, shorten, degrade quality of life, interactions, activity, cause lethargy. But if you're talking about like, I can physically see my betta, that doesn't really ever happen. Which is unfortunate. They're a very non-vocal species, which is why people can put them in bowls and never realize that there's a problem with doing so if they're not educated properly, because the fish isn't going to be like, yo, I don't have enough. How do we observe stress in fish? Minor behavior changes. And you also need a baseline, right? Like if you buy a fish from a pet store that's been in a bag and then you put it in a bowl, you've never seen it under good conditions. You've never seen it act how a betta fish should have acted, right? So you have no comparison to make. So even if you were privy to those like tiny details of what behavior would show that a fish is unhappy or stressed out, you don't even have anything to compare it to say that like, oh, it's doing worse than before, So it's very difficult. And it totally makes sense. I mean, that's why most people who keep fish in bowls, whatever, are not purposefully being abusive. They're just ignorant to the reality. And it's hard to blame them if no one tells you the reality and you can't really see the reality. It's really difficult. We grew caterpillars for each student in a jar and released them. Dude, that reminds me. When I was young, I was walking under this like big sycamore tree in my neighborhood and a caterpillar fell out of the tree and hit me on the head. And it was like huge. It was like this big. I forget what it was, imperial moth caterpillar or something like that. Huge caterpillar. I forget what it was called now. And I was like, I'm keeping this motherfucker. So I got one of those like little bug cages with the sliding glass door or whatever. I let it live in there for a while, and then it turned into a cocoon. I almost said a metapod. Pokemon has degraded my brain. It turned into a cocoon, and then when it hatched, I like came home from school one day, and there was just a butterfly flying around, this gigantic moth flying around in the thing, and I let it go in my neighborhood. It was great. I was like 10. We all did dumb things, all right? Looking back, we all did some bad things, all right? I'm pretty sure I had a frog in like a 5-gallon tank that I caught in the local creek. I'm very sorry to what I assume was a bullfrog or green frog. My bad. That's probably my worst offense. I was I learned pretty early, but I was lucky to seek out information naturally. The average person would not necessarily do that. Saw this in an Amazon review video. Straight up, this is what my tank looked like in the olden days. I wonder if you could find... How far back do you have to go in my videos to find this? I wonder if you could find it in the background. If I go to my gaming channel and I go to the earliest published video on here with a face cam,